Jamal Mitchell sank into the busted leather sofa of his West Philly shoebox, the cracked screen of his phone glowing like a lit fuse in the dark. TikTok notifications blew up, relentless, rapid fire, his phone buzzing like a live wire in his grip. His newest rap song, Concrete Dreams, was blowing up. The track, raw and ruthless, was a war cry from the block. Sirens wailing, drones overhead, hope flickering between eviction notices and pipe dreams of Grammys. He'd laid it down in David's attic with jacked gear and no budget, just grit. But his voice, smoke, gravel, soul, cut through the noise like a blade. The comments lit him up. "This is straight fire. A West Philly up next. Drop the video, bro. Legend in the making. Run it up." Jamal leaned forward, wide-eyed. "The comments are insane, bro," he said, glancing at David and Oscar, his day one crew. Oscar, chewing mid-Dorito, nodded without looking up. "Don't forget us when you blow up." "I won't," Jamal laughed, but he clocked David's silence. It was David's attic, David's beats, but David never smiled like it was joy, more like hunger. Arms crossed, controller idle in his lap. David finally spoke. "He better not forget us. I produced the damn track. I can shoot the video too. We just need the money. Strike while the buzz is hot." There was an edge to David's voice, quiet but sharp. Jamal felt it. David had made the beat. They'd been up till 3 a.m., layering sounds, chasing that perfect drop behind Jamal's bars. "Yeah," Jamal said slowly. "We need a video. A real one. That's how I level up from viral fluke to someone who lasts." David straightened, ready to plot it out, but Jamal added, "It's gotta look pro. Not some shaky iPhone clip with Oscar's dog in the shot." Oscar laughed, tossing a pillow. "My dog's adorable. That's viral gold. I'm serious," Jamal said. "Videos cost money, like real money. Even a basic one runs, what, 150K? I've got $14 and a bottle cap to my name. Shoot it on your phone." Oscar shrugged. "People love that lo-fi vibe." "No," Jamal said, firm. "This is my shot. I can't look broke. I need it to feel like I've already made it, even if I haven't." Oscar lit up. "I got it. Call Big Slim. He's bankrolled tons of rappers. That's how DJ Amaze blew up. Billboards, radio spins." Jamal cut him a look. "Big Slim?" he said. "Nah, I've been dodging that man since I was 12. Slim wasn't just a drug dealer. He was a trap in human form. Smile in your face, contract in hand. And once he owned you, he owned you. Miss one payment, he'd take your gear. Miss another, your teeth." "Exactly. DJ Amaze ain't famous," David said. "He's got streams and a lifetime contract with a psycho. Slim charges 10 G's a day in late fees." Oscar shrugged. "Okay, then who else got that kind of cash?" Silence, just gunshots from the game and the hum of traffic outside. Jamal stared at his phone, still glowing with praise. Then he said quietly, "I might know someone." David raised an eyebrow. "Who?" "My cousin Lil. She's my dad's cousin, real private. Made her money in real estate and other stuff. Word is, she's rich." "You know her like that?" Oscar asked. "Not really. Met her a few times at weddings. The grown-ups kept us away, but every year she sends all the cousins Nike gear and a business card." David leaned in. "So call her. Now." Jamal hesitated. "I'm thinking about it." David's voice cooled. "Just don't forget us when you roll up in a suit asking for favors." Jamal met his eyes. "I'm not trying to forget. I'm trying not to get stuck." Oscar stood, stretching. "All right, I'm out before my mom sends a search party." David grabbed his coat, lingering. "Let me know what she says. We'll need a plan if she bites." "Yeah," Jamal said, watching them go. When the apartment fell silent, Jamal looked around, peeling paint, beat-up furniture, dreams taped to the wall. He dug through a drawer and pulled out an old business card, Liliana Mitchell, Esquire. He stared at the name. One road led to Big Slim. The other, a gamble on blood. He hit call. It rang once, twice, 3 times. Then suddenly, "This is Liliana." Her voice was sharp, smooth. No time for nonsense. Jamal froze, caught between the boy he was and the man he wanted to be. Hey, it's Jamal, Ray's son. A pause, long, cold. I know who you are. He swallowed. I was wondering if we could talk. I got something to ask. Another pause. He pictured her behind a glass desk, watching him like a chess piece. Come tomorrow, 3 o'clock. I'll text the address. Dress like you mean it. Click. She hung up before he could say thanks. The call ended, but the wait lingered. Jamal set the phone down like it might explode. The flickering TV, crumbs on the couch, sneakers by the door. Suddenly it all felt smaller, louder. He sat still, then dragged his hands down his face. What did I just do? His gut twisted. Maybe this was a mistake. Cousin Lil wasn't just rich. She was a whole different world. No patience, no second chances. What if she laughed? What if she helped? And it cost more than he could see. Or worse, what if she believed in him? And he blew it? He slumped back, staring at the ceiling. The phone buzzed beside him. TikTok still blowing up like a crowd cheering from far away. It should have felt like a win. Instead, it felt like the clock just started ticking. The meeting with Cousin Lil weighed on Jamal like a loaded backpack. It was easy money, sure, but childhood warnings echoed in his head. Don't talk to Cousin Lil. Don't get too close. Funny though, despite the warnings, every one of them had borrowed from her at some point. Unable to sleep, Jamal got dressed and headed downtown at 2 a.m. to see the one person who might tell him the truth, Cousin Terry. Terry Mitchell, Lil's younger brother, was built like a brick wall and dressed like a 90s DJ. He ran a local radio station and lived well, but not Lil Rich. Still, advice was free. Jamal smiled when he found him spinning vinyl in the booth. After a hug and a beer offer, Terry cued a pre-recorded show, then gave Jamal a long look. You look tired, he said, settling into a creaky chair, like you're either in love or about to do something stupid. Little of both, Jamal smirked. Terry raised an eyebrow. Jamal rubbed his neck. I asked Cousin Lil for a loan. The air changed. Terry stopped spinning. His chair stilled, eyes locked in like a scope. Say that again? I called her, Jamal said. I need money for a video. My song's blowing up. I have to move now. No credit, no help from Mom. I thought maybe family? Terry exhaled, thinking hard. Then he said, Lily doesn't give favors, Jamal. She gives terms. She invests, and she always expects a return, on time, with interest, in blood, if needed. Jamal forced a laugh. You make her sound like a mob boss. Terry leaned in. You didn't know our parents. Lily and I were raised by wolves, cruel, violent people. I was the youngest. She was the oldest. She took the worst of it, and it hardened her. Rules, contracts, control. That's how she survived. But cross a line, and she'll stop seeing you as human. Don't take the money, he said. No one can help you once you do. Jamal swallowed. I already called her. Then call her back. Say you figured it out, and don't ever call again. Do you talk to her? Every day, Terry said. She's my sister. She saved my life. I love her, but I'd never sign a deal with her. Ever. Jamal hesitated. I won't come up short. TikTok's already paying, and once the video drops, I'll pay her back fast. Terry just stared at him, then finally said, okay, and changed the subject. They spent the rest of the night talking and eating pizza, but Terry's warning echoed long after. It was 5 a.m. at a Kensington Street strip club called Neon Blood, where Jamal sat at the bar trying to think. The place reeked of sweat, cheap Hennessy, and broken promises. Red lights flickered through smoke while a busted speaker wheezed out a trap remix of Marvin Gaye. Dancers moved like ghosts, transactional, tired. It felt like ambition came here to die. Jamal stared into a flat soda with too much ice, Terry's warning echoing in his mind. Lil doesn't give favors. She draws lines in blood. Still, he couldn't cancel the meeting, blame David. Jamal had drive, sure, but most of what he did came from David's pressure. Terry's love was strong, but David's bullying was stronger, and Jamal couldn't bear to hear that sneer. "You scared of an old lady? Man, I always knew you was weak." On stage, under the lazy spin of the club's red and purple lights, a dancer named Sapphire moved like smoke, slow, sinuous, unapologetic. Petite and light-skinned, she commanded attention, not with force, but with precision. Every sway of her hips, every arch of her back was a calculation. She was all legs and lies, and she knew it. The crowd ate it up. Men leaned forward with wide eyes and open wallets, hollering like animals let off the leash. Crumpled bills rained down around her, and Sapphire smiled. Not out of joy, but out of instinct. It was muscle memory by now, a ritual, a performance. Jamal watched her from the bar, his heart like a stone in his chest. Sapphire was his girlfriend, 5 years and counting. He'd known her before the glitter, before the stage names and spotlights, back when they'd split corner store sandwiches and dreamed of something more. But somewhere along the way, she'd fallen in love with the stage, not the art of it, the power of it, the money, the control, and maybe, just maybe, the way it made Jamal squirm. She knew he was watching. She always knew, but she didn't rush. That was part of the power. Only when the music cut out and the stage lights dimmed did she finally gather her tips, delicate fingers plucking them off the floor like a queen collecting tribute. She stuffed the bills into a glittery fanny pack, strapped it tight around her hips, and descended the stairs wearing nothing but a thong and raw confidence. She slid onto the stool beside Jamal, her skin slick with sweat and shimmer, smelling faintly of coconut oil and exhaustion. Without looking at him, she signaled the bartender with a flick of her wrist. Jamal turned his head, jaw tight. He hated this place, hated what it did to her, hated the way she smiled at strangers and let their eyes roam freely over what he considered his. But Sapphire, she was about that life, about the hustle, the power, the money, and she wasn't leaving it behind for love. If Jamal wanted her out of the game, he'd have to buy her freedom. Because in her world, love didn't pay the bills. "You came to see me or just needed a place to think?" Sapphire asked, not quite looking at him. "Both," Jamal said. "I'm meeting my cousin this afternoon. I'm going to ask her to front the money for a music video." Sapphire raised a brow. "The cousin? The rich old bitch no one talks about?" "Lil," Jamal nodded, trying to hide the fear in his voice. Sapphire gave a low whistle. "I've always heard of her, even in high school. They say she got more money than Jordan, but nobody knows what she does. Real estate, politics, blackmail. She just moves quiet," Jamal said. "Yeah," Sapphire snorted, finishing her drink. "Too quiet, like a shark." Before Jamal could answer, a hand tapped his shoulder. A security guard, broad, expressionless. Big Slim wants a word. Sapphire's face didn't change, but her eyes did. She gave Jamal's arm a gentle squeeze and slid off the stool. "Be careful," she murmured. Then she turned, walking back into the pit, naked, smiling, wrapping herself around a table full of sweatshirts and gold chains. Jamal followed the guard past the velvet curtain down a hallway that reeked of bleach and secrets. The hum of bass faded behind him, replaced by silence thick enough to choke on. The door at the end wasn't marked, but it didn't need to be. Inside, smoke, money, and menace. Big Slim sat behind a low black desk, stacks of cash fanned out in front of him like bait. His silk shirt gleamed under the overhead light, and a chrome pistol rested on the desk like punctuation. To his right sat Jessica, legs crossed, cigarette smoldering between her fingers, a glass of red wine untouched before her. Her beauty was effortless. Her danger was not. She was the perfect gangster's girlfriend, beautiful and smart. So smart that Big Slim always called her his brain dressed up as candy. Around them both, shadows moved. Men with dead eyes and twitchy hands, all of them packing, each one close enough to kill, but far enough to make you sweat. Slim didn't stand. He didn't need to. Power radiated from him like heat off pavement. He just smiled, slow and sharp, and motioned to the empty chair across from him. "Heard you been making noise, son," he said, his voice oily and full of cheer that didn't reach his eyes. "TikTok's buzzing, the streets are watching, concrete dreams, what's good?" "Just figuring things out," Jamal said, masking the fear in his chest. "I'd just be asking questions." Slim chuckled. "Oh, you little Kendrick now, huh?" He leaned forward, the pistol gleaming like a warning. "I hear you need a video. I can help. Use the club. Get the neighborhood out. A few of my girls shaking something proper." He picked up a wad of cash, flipping through it by touch. Methodical, familiar, like he was flipping pages in a book written in blood. "I heard you need 150. His eyes never left Jamal's. "I can take you there. Radio, videos, headline sets, the full thing. I've made more stars than American Idol." Jamal shifted. His smile came too fast, too bright. He was thinking quick now. Because in this neighborhood, Big Slim had buried more black men than the cops, and with less remorse. To owe Slim was a slow death. To disappoint him was instant. "I appreciate the offer," Jamal said. "Really, but I got someone already. Older, family, she's fronting the money. I'd hate to pull out now and offend her." Slim's smile didn't change, but the air in the room seemed to tighten. "Family," he said, nodding. "That's good. You gotta stay in the will." He laughed softly. No one else did. Then he leaned back and fixed Jamal with a stare that felt like the barrel of a gun. "But if it falls through, you come see me." A pause. "I don't like wasting talent." Then, and only then, Slim stood, towering. His presence filled the room like smoke. He reached out and shook Jamal's hand, firm, final. "Good luck, young blood." Jamal smiled, exhaled, and got out of there fast. Outside, the air was cooler, but it still felt thick, like night refusing to end. Like a countdown had started, and time was already running out. Liliana Mitchell's mansion sat hidden behind black iron gates and sculpted hedges, the kind of place no one in the family ever described, probably because no one had ever been invited. Jamal had never imagined someone related to him lived like this. The driveway curved like a private road, lined with magnolias and security cams disguised as garden lights. Before he could knock, a man in a tailored navy suit opened the door, nodded, and stepped aside. Marble floors, floating staircase, floor-to-ceiling windows framing a pristine lawn. Luther Vandross played soft in the background. Two silent bodyguards flanked the foyer, statues in black suits, one only betraying life with a blink. Then, there he is. Liliana swept in like a queen returning to court. Silk blouse, simple slacks, heels clicking like punctuation. Her salt and pepper hair framed a face that was calm, elegant, and unreadable. Diamond studs glinted like tiny searchlights. She looked like old money, new power, and quiet danger. But when she reached Jamal, she smiled like a favorite auntie at a family cookout. "You've grown up so handsome," Liliana beamed, smothering Jamal in hugs and kisses. Come in, come in." She led him to the sunroom, a glass-walled space overlooking a rose garden. It smelled like lavender and money. They sat across from each other, a glass table and a perfect lemon bundt cake between them. A guard lingered just outside, pretending not to eavesdrop. "You hungry?" "I had Gloria make cake," she said, cutting a generous slice and offering it. No thank you," Jamal said, caught off guard by her warmth. She laughed and took a big bite. "Suit yourself." Then, crossing her legs, she asked, "So, what brings you to me?" Jamal cleared his throat. "First, thanks for seeing me. I know we don't really..." "Nonsense," she waved it off. "Your blood, and now I hear the whole world knows you." He smiled nervously and pulled out his phone. I wanted to show you a track I dropped. Concrete Dreams is blowing up, over 2 million plays on TikTok. He hit play. She listened, head tilted, face unreadable until it ended. Well, she said, leaning back, that's a hit. You've got presence. And that voice, gravel and velvet, a natural Jamal flushed. Thanks. I want to shoot a real video, something big, no iPhone stuff. She smirked. And I'm holding the boom mic? He laughed. No, ma'am, I mean, Cousin Lil, I was hoping you'd loan me some money. I know we're not close, but how much? He hesitated. 150,000. That's it, she said lightly. I thought you meant real money. She turned to her bodyguard. Grab 150 from the vault, will you? The man left. Jamal blinked. Wait, that's a yes? Yes, of course, she said, slicing more cake. I love investing in family. You're going far. The bodyguard returned with a duffel bag. Jamal opened it. Stacks of crisp bills. Oh my God, thank you, he blurted. Ooh, you're so generous. No need for thanks. You're staying for dinner. My attorney will fax over a contract you can sign during dessert. Yes, absolutely, Jamal said, clutching the bag like it might vanish. Cousin Lil smiled. I have one condition. I want your love interest in the video to be a dark-skinned girl. Jamal blinked. Wait, what? A dark-skinned girl, she repeated. I'm tired of these red-bone Instagram filter types taking all the shine. I want your art to reflect our beauty, if you can handle that. Absolutely, Jamal said. I see beautiful dark girls every day. Exactly, she nodded. We need to normalize that. Just this one video, I won't ask again, and it's not about your preferences, but I'm backing you, and I want dark-skinned girls to see you as their internet boyfriend. Think you can manage? Jamal laughed. With pleasure. Good, she said, clapping. I know just the girl, Imani, daughter of a colleague. Young, tall, dark chocolate, a goddess. People will see why you chose her. Let's do it, Jamal said. Lovely. She pulled out her phone. I'll have my attorney draft the contract now. Simple stuff. Everyone on your crew signs too. Director, producers, no problem. And if you need more time to repay me, just say so. I'm patient. Her tone sharpened. But don't violate the terms ever. I take contracts very seriously. A breach is disloyalty. Jamal nodded, grinning. Done. Good, she said. I'll also send you the address to one of my properties. Ocean views, modern, perfect for a shoot. Use it for free. Just don't break anything. Deal. Jamal back at his apartment. Jamal walked into the familiar funk of ramen noodles and spilled weed. Still buzzing from Cousin Lil's mansion, he found David, Oscar, and his girlfriend Sapphire slouched on the couch. Where you been? Oscar asked. Jamal grinned. Had to hit the bank. Rented a safe deposit box. For what? I got the money. What? My cousin gave it to me, all cash. Can't just dump that into a bank account. IRS flags it, so I locked it up. We're good. We can shoot the video. 150,000 in cash. No way! Oscar shouted, jumping up. He beatboxed while Sapphire slid over and kissed Jamal slow. I'm proud of you, baby, she whispered. You did it. David didn't join the celebration. What's the catch? Jamal scratched his jaw. She had one condition. I had to sign for it. David frowned. What kind of condition? Jamal sighed. She wants the love interest in the video to be dark-skinned. Said she's tired of red-bone girls getting all the shine. Oscar blinked. What? Sapphire laughed, sharp. Excuse me? Isn't Cousin Lil light-skinned? Oscar added. Lighter than you, Jamal said to Sapphire. But that's not the point. She wants to showcase the full range of black beauty just this once. David raised a brow. That's her condition? What, she run in BET now? I don't know, man, Jamal said. She felt strongly. And the money's real. She's even letting us shoot at her mansion for free. David shook his head. No way. I'm directing this and dark girls don't move units. Mixed chicks sell. That's just facts. Sapphire crossed her arms, eyes locked on Jamal. So you're casting some stranger instead of me. It's not like that, Jamal said. It's in the contract. Sapphire stood, voice rising. I've been with you since the SoundCloud days, sharing posts, staying up all night in that attic. This could be my break too. I know, he said gently, but I gave my word. David stepped in. Come on, bro. Contracts are just paper. Leave it to me. I'll work around it. Jamal hesitated. I don't want to work around it. She takes this seriously. Everyone's signing contracts, especially us. We have to agree to the dark-skinned actress clause. David looked at Sapphire, who suddenly softened. She stepped in close to Jamal, voice like silk. Baby, this is our moment. You shine, I shine. You really going to trade that for some dark stranger in heels? Jamal glanced between them, his gut heavy with the weight of it all. Just let me think. David clapped his back. You will. I'll make some calls. Jamal nodded. But in the back of his mind, Cousin Lil's voice echoed, smooth and sharp. Don't violate the terms. Ever. Cousin Lil's borrowed mansion looked like something off a reality show. White stone, wraparound balconies, and glass railings that caught the light just right. At the edge of the infinity pool, a camera crane floated overhead like a stalking bird. The ocean shimmered behind them, waves like silk under the sun. A salty breeze rolled over the cliffside, whipping through palm trees and making champagne flutes clink on their trays. Music pulsed through the speakers as professional dancers wearing bikinis hit their marks, popped champagne bottles on cue, and gave choreographed waves to the drones that zipped overhead for the aerial shots. And at the center of it all, Jamal and Imani, a gorgeous dark-skinned model that towered beside him in a crimson bikini and gold hoop earrings. Her 6-foot frame was carved like marble, her legs endless, and her skin glowing like polished copper in the sun. She was statuesque in the truest sense, undeniable, regal, untouchable, and the way she looked at Jamal, slow and smirking like she already owned him, magnetism. He was shirtless, diamond chain catching the sun, confidence pouring off him like heat. The two of them laughed, flirted, splashed, danced. They leaned in close, cheeks brushing, lips nearly grazing, and the camera soaked it all in. Cut! David called from behind the monitor. That's the one! The crew broke into applause. Y'all see that chemistry? Oscar whooped, slapping a boo mop on the back. Instant classic? Everyone agreed, except Sapphire. Perched on a lounge chair in a silver bikini, she sat stiff and seething. Jamal laughed, trailing a hand down Imani's back, and Sapphire's nails dug into the armrest like it was Imani's face. She'd been cast as a background girl, just another body by the pool. Her jaw clenched. This was supposed to be her moment, not some Amazon Barbie from Cousin Lil's model stash. As the crew broke for water and playback, a guard at the gate lifted a hand to his earpiece. Then Liliana Mitchell entered. The wind seemed to pause. She strode across the deck like Cleopatra in heels and tinted shades, flanked by 2 silent guards. Her ivory dress billowed, black clutch sharp as a weapon. Imani lit up. Miss Lil, they hugged, warm, real. Thank you, Imani whispered. I've never been on a real set before. This means everything. Lil touched her cheek. I promised your father I'd look after you, and you're making him proud. Jamal watched them with a smile before stepping up. Cousin Lil, I want you to meet someone. He motioned to Sapphire, who approached slowly, sulking. This is my girlfriend, Sapphire. Lil gave her a gracious once-over. Well, aren't you stunning? Lovely to meet you, dear. Sapphire didn't smile. Really? I heard I'm too red-boned for your taste. I hear you like your meat dark and female. Her words cut like ice. Cousin Lil's smile held, but something in her eyes turned cold, silent, deadly. Oscar felt it and moved fast. Hey, Saf, let's grab drinks, he said, yanking Sapphire away before she said something worse. Jamal's heart thudded. Cousin Lil, she turned, the warmth returning. You're doing good, baby, she said, proud. This is the start of something real. I'm proud of you. Thank you for believing in me, for everything. It's my pleasure, Cousin Lil said, but I won't stick around. I just wanted to send good vibes. I'll let you young people get back to it. I'll see you at the premiere. Then she turned, gliding away as her guards followed. The gate closed behind her. Yo, Oscar whispered. She's scary as hell. Jamal didn't respond. Hours later, the borrowed mansion was quiet. Pool lights glowed a soft electric blue. Empty champagne bottles lay scattered like debris from a party gone too far. Down by the beach, the ocean hummed steady and low. Inside, Jamal, Sapphire, David, and Oscar were sprawled on velvet couches, high on ego and exhaustion. David's laptop glowed in the dark as he scrubbed through hours of footage. I can't do it, man, David scoffed. Monty's gorgeous, sure, but it doesn't feel real. It won't sell. Come on, Oscar said, grinning. That shoot was fire. Admit it. David clicked past a slow motion shot of Jamal and Imani nearly kissing. It was perfect, and he still frowned. Fire for a Taylor Swift fan, he sneered, but not for the brothers. We're trying to blow up, not give a TED talk. This is branding. Sapphire leaned into Jamal, her hand sliding up his thigh. He's right, baby. Today was fun. But concrete dreams? That's our story, not your cousin's. Jamal slurred, voice heavy with drink. Why are we doing this again? We signed the clause. We signed the contracts. How many times I gotta say it? Lil don't play with legal. She'll get her money, David shot back. We'll send her a version with Imani, sure, but the first drop, we gotta come correct. Oscar laughed. Man, it'll go platinum in Zimbabwe. They all laughed, except Jamal. Imani's a good girl, he said quietly. We shouldn't do her dirty. David rolled his eyes and picked up the camera. Sapphire, do your thing. Sapphire stood, shedding inhibition like second skin. She stripped down to her bikini bottoms, slinking across the room like sin in motion. The guys held their breath. She reached Jamal, licked the side of his face. Come on, baby, she purred. You want me. Your boys want me. Think of all the men who will pay just to see me. That's your money. Jamal stared into her eyes, paralyzed. And cut, David shouted, hitting a playback. Tell me that won't make us rich, famous, untouchable. Jamal watched the screen, his eyes locked, his jaw set. The footage with Sapphire was raw, sexy, but it lacked something. That spark, that soul, that truth he'd found filming with Imani. Oscar nudged him. Come on, man. Dave's right. This is what sells. Your aunt won't care. And if she does, what's the worst that can happen? She throws a purse at us. More laughter. Jamal sighed, the fight slipping from his shoulders. She's not my aunt, he muttered. She's my cousin. Yeah, David said, pouring another drink. Your rich cousin who will bankrupt you before you even get started. You really want to go out like that? Jamal looked around. It was all here. Fame, luxury, power, and only the ruthless ever got to keep it. Being polite, that didn't make legends. Breaking rules did. Cousin Lil had been ruthless once, more than once if Terry was right. She'd understand. She had to. Jamal nodded slowly. A tight smile curled on his lips. Okay, he said at last, decision made. Let's do it. Let's make history. They cheered, and outside the waves kept rolling. The premiere party was everything Jamal had dreamed of. As a favor to Cousin Lil, it was hosted, free of charge, in a converted Soho-style loft club, complete with a rooftop that overlooked the best parts of Philly. The cast and crew were floored, mingling beneath soft lighting and gold-trimmed fixtures. Waiters in tuxedo vests floated by with trays of Ahai tuna bites, truffle sliders, and bubbling champagne flutes. Designer perfumes hung in the air like a second atmosphere. The crowd was beautiful, buzzed, and electric with excitement. Jamal entered with Sapphire to thunderous applause. His song played on loop in the background as he stepped in wearing a custom black silk bomber, concrete dreams stitched across the back in blood-red thread. Oscar rocked oversized shades indoors. David held court by the bar, grinning wide. And Sapphire, she was a vision, fire and threat in a skin-tight sequined gown, cut high at the leg, low at the chest, and slit like sin down the back. Her heels clicked like applause with every step. Eyes followed her, and she loved it. She wrapped herself around Jamal's arm just as the cameras flashed. "We look good, baby," she purred, loud enough for everyone to hear. All eyes were on them until they weren't. Every head turned toward the door. The room shifted. Cousin Lil had arrived. She entered like she owned not just the party, but the building. Hair, salt, and pepper hair swept back, skin glowing, her charcoal wrapped dress draping her like armor, radiating quiet, controlled power. Beside Lil, Imani stunned in an emerald gown, elegant, poised, Vogue-worthy. Heads turned, whispers followed, the air cooled, recalibrating around them. Jamal moved fast to greet her. "You made it." "Of course," she said, kissing his cheek, "and I wouldn't miss it." Imani smiled, gentle and sincere. "Hi, Jamal." Before he could reply, Sapphire slid between them, clinging to Jamal's arm like a claim. Her smile at Cousin Lil was sugar-laced steel. "So good to see you again," she said sweetly. Cousin Lil smiled but didn't reply. David sauntered up and clapped for attention, hopping onto the DJ riser. All right, he said into the mic. "Let's be real. Concrete Dreams wouldn't exist without me. I found Jamal when he was rapping into a busted laptop. I made the beat. I directed the video. I put him on." Some chuckled. Most stayed quiet. Cousin Lil's eyes narrowed perceptively. Jamal smiled. Tight. Rage flickered in his eyes, but he held it down. David raised his glass. "To me and to us." Scattered applause. Then the DJ dropped the lights and the projector came on. The video started. At first it looked familiar, the pool, the beats, the sweeping drone shots. But then Sapphire appeared, not Imani, Sapphire in a gold bikini, Sapphire grinding on Jamal, Sapphire crawling along the edge of the pool like she was auditioning for a strip club promo. It was loud, flashy, sloppy, everything they weren't trying to be. No chemistry, no elegance, just another cheap, over-sexualized music video. The magic, the art was gone. Murmurs rose, the dancers looked away. The cinematographer downed a whiskey and walked out, no word spoken. Two producers whispered to each other, then slipped out the side door, and Imani, face blank, heartbroken, she turned and walked away. Jamal tried to follow her with his eyes, but she was already gone. He turned back just in time to see Cousin Lil, fuming. Her jaw clenched, her eyes locked on him from across the room, cold, sharp, and unwavering, and then, as if to seal the disrespect, Sapphire dropped to a squat and twerked directly at Cousin Lil. Oscar and David howled with laughter, raising their champagne flutes toward Lil like it was a joke. Across the room, Cousin Lil's jaw didn't move. She wasn't hurt. She wasn't angry. She was calculating, cold, deadly, her stare fixed on Jamal. He laughed too, but it was hollow, nervous. Terror crawled up his spine. He gave a weak shrug. "Sorry, but you understand." Cousin Lil adjusted the cuff of her sleeve like flipping a switch. Then she turned and walked out. No storm, no drama, just a quiet exit and a quiet severing. Her guards followed silent as shadows. Watching her go, Jamal's stomach dropped. He had crossed a line. Terry's warnings echoed in his head. Something was coming, something brutal, and Jamal was terrified. Outside the moving SUV, Philadelphia slid past in streaks of gold and neon. Soft rain traced jagged lines down the tinted windows, while in the back seat, the air was thick with champagne, cologne, and the kind of laughter that always came before a fall. Sapphire curled into Jamal's lap, sipping from a crystal tumbler like it belonged to her. Oscar was half asleep in the back row, his head bobbing to the phantom beat of a song still echoing from the premiere. David was in rare form, feet up, neck tilted, toasting himself in the reflection of the overhead lights. That was a goddamn masterpiece, he slurred. Sapphire, baby, you were divine. Jamal, I hate to say it, but your girl carried that video. Cheers to violating contracts. Oscar mumbled, eyes still closed, and nothing happening afterwards. Sapphire giggled, pressed a kiss to Jamal's neck. See, told you, baby. She was all smoke, no action. Jamal didn't respond. He stared out the window, lips tight, hands still on his thighs. The champagne he hadn't touched trembled slightly in the glass. Then, quietly, y'all don't know her like I do. She's not just some rich lady with a good tailor. She doesn't lose. Ever. David waved him off. You're paranoid, man. It's done. What's she gonna do? Sue us? Tell the judge I don't like light-skinned people? That's discrimination. It's stupid. We won. Just accept it. Jamal's voice dropped to a mutter. We didn't win shit. I saw that look in her eye. That was real. Something's coming we already done. Oscar laughed. You need to smoke something and chill out, dog. Sapphire pulled Jamal's face toward hers, kissed him long and slow. Forget her, she whispered. Tonight's for us. But the kiss had lost its magic. Jamal pulled away, leaving them to party. He stared out the window, lost in a storm of regret and fear. Dear God, what have I done? The SUV pulled into the driveway of the mansion from the video shoot. The moon hung high and bloated, casting the estate in silver blue shadows. David hopped out first, twirling the keys. It's paid up till noon tomorrow, so why not use it? The four of them stumbled inside, laughter echoing down the marble hallway. The front door creaked open like a breath held too long. Jamal stepped in first. Sapphire's heels clicked behind him. Then Oscar and David, arms full of leftover champagne. They were still buzzing from the premiere, loud, laughing, until they weren't. The house was lit up. Not all of it, just enough to make the shadows feel heavier. A rich scent hung in the air, roast lamb, rosemary, and something else. From somewhere deep in the house, soft piano music played. Slow, deliberate. Jamal froze. We didn't leave the lights on? Oscar frowned. Is someone here? They stepped around the corner into the grand dining room and stopped dead. Big Slim sat at the head of the long polished table, tailored navy suit, tie shimmering like oil. One hand held a glass of scotch, the other lay flat on the table like a loaded weapon. Behind him stood two men, massive, silent, watching. To his right, Jessica, legs crossed, cigarette smoldering between her fingers, a glass of red wine untouched before her. The four newcomers stood frozen, the blood draining from their faces. Big Slim smiled. Don't just stand there like you pissed the carpet. Have a seat. Nobody moved. He tilted his head. Now, they obeyed. The long table had been set, crystal, silver, everything gleaming. From the shadows, a quiet army of suited waitstaff emerged, placing down plates of lamb, foie gras, blistered asparagus. Nobody touched a bite. Big Slim leaned back, his eyes sweeping the length of the table. Now, I gotta admit, he said, voice smooth, measured, almost amused. When Liliana Mitchell first called me tonight, I thought she was exaggerating, and Amani's tears just didn't make sense. I figured, so what? Another rap brat swapped out a model. Who gives a damn? He sipped his drink. The silence that followed was thick. Only the distant clink of cutlery could be heard. But then I saw the footage from both videos. More silence. Tighter now. You didn't just replace my daughter, you humiliated her on her first job. You turned something elegant into a strip mall promo, and you let her dress up and come see it in front of all her peers. That's just cold. Shock rippled down the table. Imani is your daughter? David stammered. We didn't know. If we had known. Jessica cut him off with a look. She exhaled a thin, cold ribbon of smoke. Wait, so if you'd known Slim was her father, you would have done the right thing because of Slim, but not because of Imani? She asked in disgust. That's fucked up. Big Slim turned toward them, his tone sharpening like a knife pulled halfway from the sheath. Here's what y'all don't understand. Liliana Mitchell ain't some old money socialite with a nice wardrobe. She's a brutalist. So brutal that all the Latin cartels all stopped moving product through West Philly. They got tired of going to war with her. She's also the reason the Irish and Russian syndicates left DC. She was in the game before most of y'all were even born, and she's killed people for a lot less than what you all did tonight. Oscar's hand trembled on his wine glass. Big Slim kept going. And yet, she spared your lives and did the softer thing, sold you to me. That's right. I bought your contracts. All of them. He leaned forward now, voice low and pointed. You know why she sold you rather than kill you? No one answered. Because of Jamal. Love him or hate him, he got her blood. That's the only reason any of you are still breathing? Jessica added, voice like glass. Imani also begged for your lives. I couldn't believe it. You do her so dirty, and yet my baby girl is still sweet enough to cry over a room full of snakes. Big Slim smiled, but there was no warmth in it, only warning. So now, I'm your new reality. The contract was for $150,000 and all four of you signed. I gave Liliana that cash back with interest, and now you each owe me $37,500. Add to that interest accruing at $10,000 a day starting today. That's $48,000 each, due right now. So pay up. They each froze, none of them having anything to say. Big Slim looked at Jamal. Fine, let's start with the superstar. Big Slim gestured, and one of his goons stepped forward. Jamal flinched as the man reached into Jamal's jacket and took his phone. He scrolled through the account. He's got about $2,000 in ad revenue so far today, the goon said. Okay, Big Slim nodded. Consider this part of your payment. Your TikTok's mine now. All the ad revenue, the brand deals, all of it mine. Jamal opened his mouth, but no sound came out. Then Big Slim turned to Jessica, gesturing lazily towards Sapphire. You think Redbone got value? Jessica barely looked. She dragged her eyes up and down Sapphire with thinly veiled contempt. Hardly. Can't put her on a private jet to Dubai. They'll laugh her out of there. She got no polish for Miami either. New Orleans likes it sleazy, but I think those backwoods clubs in Appalachia will eat her up just fine. Glitter, sweat, and toothless rednecks, she'll fit right in. Sapphire surged up, ready to snap, but one of Slim's guards twitched and she sat back down fast. Jessica leaned closer to Slim. Send her to Rattler's Nest, she voiced like ice. The club we just acquired in Alabama. They'll think she's exotic. Big Slim nodded. Done. He turned to Jamal. You'll be there too. DJ sets, open mic, whatever gets the drunk spending. I paid for your voice. I'll damn well use it. Then his eyes shifted to David and Oscar. As for you two, you'll stay here with me, run errands, move things, dig holes if I say so. Oscar whimpered. David tried to keep his voice even. Please, this is all a misunderstanding. We'll fix it. We'll reshoot. Big Slim raised a hand. The room went still. Jamal spoke then, quiet, desperate, broken at the edges. Take me, he said, barely more than a whisper. Please, let them go and use me. Let me write songs. I've got 1 million of them in my head. I'll make more hits. I'll pay off everyone's debt. Big Slim didn't answer at first. He just stared, the kind of stare that didn't just see you, it measured you. Then he laughed, not loud, not amused. Just one hollow bark that bounced off the marble walls like a warning shot. He leaned forward slowly, placing both hands on the table like a judge about to pass a sentence. "You really don't get it, do you, kid?" he said. His voice was soft, deadly. "You think this is about music? You think this is about talent?" He shook his head, almost pitying. "This ain't about who's got bars. This is about power and what happens when little boys make big mistakes with people they were never meant to be in the room with." His gaze swept the table, taking in their pale faces. "When I bought you, I didn't buy a dream. I bought leverage. And the deal I made wasn't with you, it was with Liliana. And you, all of you, violated her terms." He stood up, slow and deliberate. His shadow stretched across the table like it wanted to devour the light. She didn't just want her money back, she wanted her revenge. She wanted those smug, disrespectful little faces of yours wiped clean. He looked at Jamal like he was already a ghost, and "I'm the man who gets to do it." He started walking, slow steps around the table. "You ever hear what I did to DJ Amaze? No? That's because he's not around to tell the story. Ask around about Ricky Too Tall or Shine Boy or Lex the Saint. Ask how long they lasted once they tried to walk away from me." He stopped behind David, placed a heavy hand on his shoulder. David flinched like he'd been struck. "I don't just ruin people, I erase them, careers, reputations, families. I reach everywhere, bank accounts, mothers, grandmothers. That little sister in Catholic school, yeah, her too. You didn't just sign a deal, you sold your future, and I collect in full." He walked back to his seat, sat down, smoothed his tie. "At 10,000 a day in interest, I'm going to squeeze every cent out of your bones." No one at the table could speak, not anymore. They didn't breathe, didn't blink. They just cried, raw, ugly sobs, the kind that come when you realize the monster under the bed is real. And he's sitting across from you, eating roast lamb like it's Sunday dinner. Big Slim ignored the crying. Jessica lit another cigarette. They ate in silence, as if the ruined futures around them were just decor. In the background, the music had stopped. All that remained was the ticking of the grandfather clock, counting down every second they had left to pretend they were still free.